What is up, guys? This is Robert of Gaming with Me, and welcome to a video talking about the game World Splitter. First and foremost, I gotta say I actually got this as a review copy from the developer NeoBird or the publisher Bumblebee Interactive. Regardless, thank you so much to them. That is so incredible that you would give me a review copy to talk about on my channel. I think it's pretty damn cool. Now, just because I got a review copy doesn't mean this will not be my honest truth. This is genuinely how I feel about the game. Just got to get that out of the way too, I guess. Basically, I do get game codes in my email, and I don't, accept all of them. I don't send them, hey, yeah, I'll take that, but it just, this one looked cool. World Splitter looked cool. It looked right up my alley, and I'm like, yeah, I'd be down to talk about that. Let's play it. Let's see how it is. The game you're watching right here is World Splitter. As you can see, it's super damn interesting. It's essentially a puzzle platformer in which you actually control different dimensions, essentially, of the world. So, for most of the game, it's two halves of a screen. It's so interesting to have two separate dimensions in your hand, and you may think, well, what's the difference between the dimensions? A lot of things. Different areas have different platforms, different enemies, different collectibles. It's really damn impressive, to be honest. The way you actually switch dimensions is by pressing the trigger, and it'll rotate the actual line. Essentially, there's a line that will actually have the different dimensions, and it's never confusing in terms of how it works. It's very intuitive, it's very straightforward, it's simple to use. Luckily, because of how the art style is, it's able to just clearly tell you what these dimensions are. These bright blues, bright pinks, bright reds, they'll have these different colors to basically show what is what dimension is from what. Because if they were like, super close in color, then you might get a little bit confused, but you never get confused in terms of the dimensions. What's interesting is that it's not just the line that you're spinning, you're also taking this little cursor. You're grabbing this little cursor from the middle. You could bring it to the very bottom, to the very top of the screen, and with that, you could essentially maneuver that dimension into different places. So it's not just straight in the middle, you're just spinning, because then it would just be, just using the triggers and nothing more. But if you use your right analog stick, you can make it where you'll be on a platform like in the top left, and then you can actually have the dimension go around you. So maybe there's a platform close to you, and then you could kind of create a different platform using two dimensions. It's a little interesting. It's a little maybe confusing to explain, but if you see in the background, there's plenty of times which I use something like that. The whole objective of a level is to just get to the end. You don't actually even have to collect any of these little monster guys at all. You just have to get to the end. But for me, I did collect a decent amount of all the little guys. In fact, it was only up till maybe like World 5 or 4 where I started kind of not collecting as many guys, because at some point they get really, really tough in terms of placement, and you're just like, your mind is stumped. And what's great, every chapter does introduce something else. Basically, the first chapter is all about learning how you control those dimensions, how to make it work in your favor. Instead of just keeping it in the middle, how can you maneuver the dimensions in a way where it could connect essentially two of them to make different platforms, or different little escape routes, whatever. I cannot understate how important it is that you can actually control the dimension where you want. Whether it be maybe filling only a quarter of the screen of this other dimension, or you could control the 100% of the screen with that other dimension if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but it's pretty damn incredible. Chapter 2 starts to introduce little enemies, and those guys can be a pain. They will run into you, and that's it. You can't really jump over them. You can't really do much with them. They just kind of run into you and you're done. You could jump in this game, but not very much. It's this very slight, tiny jump that can only get you to certain points, and so you kind of have to work that in your dimension wizardry. Maybe you'll have in one dimension you'll be in, but then if you kind of move the dimension enough to have another platform on the bottom, you could jump to that other dimension, to that platform. You know what I'm saying? Just when you think maybe the game is going to start getting stale, they do actually add mechanics every single chapter. They start to mess with gravity, so some sections may have you going up to the sky, and then if you switch to another dimension, that one doesn't have a gravity, so you fall back down, and you gotta make sure you have a platform on the bottom or else you're gonna die, right? You have to restart. Same thing, they also introduced portals, and that can get pretty damn tricky. In terms of single player content, there's 6 worlds with 60 levels, and I actually finished like 57, and it really is frustrating. It's not like I actually finished the game, but you can actually continue the game. You could go to the next world once you hit like 5 levels done, which I like. If you get to like level 7 of a world and you genuinely are stuck and you just cannot figure it out, you can still progress to the next world. You're not stuck into that one level until you finish it, and maybe it might not motivate you to actually finish it. But luckily, they were smart enough to have it where you finish 5 levels in a world and you can move on to the next world. Me, I pretty much played every single level, other than literally it was like World 5, the last 3 levels, I guess. The one of them I just didn't understand. I still don't know how the hell to beat that. I really don't know. It really messes with my brain. I'm like, what? I don't get it. But luckily I wasn't stuck there. I was able to still progress to World 6, and I played every single level in World 6. So I did finish the game, but there's just 3 levels there that are going to eye me for the rest of my life unless I try to finish them. It's one of those things where I'm like, damn, I don't know. And you got to remember, this is this is before a game came out, so there's no guides out there. There's no, let's plays or anything. It was just I played the game before anyone else, so it's like, oh shit, I don't quite know how to finish this one. I'm gonna have to move on for now. I don't know if this is a bug necessarily, but when you finish every world, a cutscene pops up. But during like chapter 5 or 4, there weren't any more cutscenes that were popping up, and there's no real ending to this game. There was no cutscene that popped up. It's not really important to this game, but I just noticed it, especially when I went back to the screen of cutscenes. You're able to view all the cutscenes that you unlocked, and when I clicked cutscenes one day, nothing popped up. It was very strange, and I'm guessing that's a glitch. Maybe it'll be worked out once before the game comes out. But nothing actually game breaking, it's just you can't watch a cutscene for some reason. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's because I didn't finish the levels in Chapter 5, so they're not going to show me the Chapter 6 one either. But why couldn't I watch Chapter 1 through 4's cutscenes? So I don't know. It's a little bit odd. I think the music is also really fitting for this type of game, because there's a lot of points where you're just going to be standing in a location, just flipping your dimensions, just looking, staring, thinking, how the hell did I get there though? I don't know. You really get stuck in a lot of places. But the music doesn't overbear you with some epic, ridiculous orchestra that you're kind of like, all right, I'm just trying to focus. But it gets you in the mood, and it really sets the tone for this type of game, and I thought it was pretty good. I'm sure there's some games out there that have some sort of mechanic like this, but not to this extent. They really go all out in terms of this switching dimensions mechanic. It's really impressive, and I had a lot of fun, guys. I really did. It's one that I think will really scratch your brain, because I literally was stuck on so many ones until I finally got it. It didn't take me a long time to finish the game. From the press kit that I got, they estimated that you'd be able to finish the game in about 10 hours. I finished the game in like 6, so I was I was quicker than what they estimated, but to be fair, I didn't finish 3 levels. But still, I mean, it took me 6 hours to finish 57 out of 60. Literally, it was only 3 missing. And, I mean, maybe those last 3 would take me 4 hours. I just don't think so. I'm not sure. But regardless, I had a lot of fun with World Splitter, guys. If you are into puzzle platformers, this is definitely one to keep an eye on. It's a small indie studio, and I'm sure it's going to be overlooked by a lot of things coming out. But it is a damn good one. This is a game that truly challenges you when it comes to puzzles, and I really, really enjoyed it. And for someone that wants to be a completionist and get all the little creatures, it's going to take you a while. It definitely will take you over 10 hours for sure. Probably way more than that, if I'm being honest with you. And not only that, there's also multiplayer levels, so you could play split screen with, well, I don't know if it's split screen, it's split dimensions, I guess you could say. And I was not able to play the multiplayer section, but it's like its a whole other campaign. There's like, I don't know how many levels there are, but it looks like there's like 10 more levels for multiplayer, and that's pretty damn impressive. So you could play couch co-op with somebody, which is awesome. World Splitter is releasing on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC on April 21st, which is today, at least as what I'm making it. This might be 7 years in the future. I don't know when you're watching it, but it came out today. And hey, I gotta give, again, a huge shout out to them for handing me it. I got it like a month ago, which I'm very happy, so I was able to take my time and really think about these puzzles. There also is an Xbox One version coming out, but it got delayed to May or June, so hey, if you want to play on Xbox, keep a heads up. But World Splitter is indeed worth your time. I think it's a really solid puzzle platformer, one that I had a lot of fun with, that is very unique. I've never seen a game like this personally. The art style is nice. I don't love the character designs, the little character and the little creatures, but the world itself, the actual set design, I think is nice and simple, but very appealing looking to me. I really enjoy it. So yeah, go pick it up if you want. It's literally only $20, so that is not bad, man. $20 for, you got 60 levels, and see if you could truly challenge yourself and beat every single one. Like I said, I got 57 out of 60, so tell me if you could beat that one of them. I'm gonna have to look up a guide when someone does that chapter 5, because I'm very curious. Play those multiplayer levels. That's one I definitely want to do one of these days. World Splitter, man, very cool game. I was impressed. I looked at those screenshots. I'm like, yeah, this is up my alley, and it was definitely up my alley. It's a fun video game, and it's unique, man. It's got some interesting mechanics, and it's gonna challenge you in terms of puzzles. Like I said, for me, I guess maybe because I played a lot more games, it took me shorter. Like I said, it took me 6 hours to get 57 out of 60. But the average play time for them, they say it's about 10. So hey, we'll see what it does for you. So I'll see you guys next time. Will you be picking up World Splitter? Again, I recommend it. I think it was a solid game, and I gotta give again a huge shout out to NeoBird and Bumblebee Interactive for handing me a copy of the game. Technically, it was the PR team that's always contacted me, but regardless, thank you for making the game, and thanks to the PR team. You know who you are. I don't know if I can say it, so I'm not even gonna bother, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. World Splitter is a dope game. Definitely check it out, and let me know if you're gonna pick it up. And if you have picked it up, how you liking it? You enjoying it? Let me know. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Peace. Have a place that's 4 stories. I may be trying to break in the game, but I ain't toying. Get buzzed. Feel like forget about next year. Failing to forget about that fucking future fear. Tomorrow's the headlights, and I'm that fucking deer. Feeling loony when I'm writing these tunes. Locked up room like it's a tomb, but I know soon I'ma read this shit like the chick that was made in 96.